Hey friends, welcome back to Intentional Motherhood. I'm your host, Kelsey Redd, and you found the podcast for all you ambitious mamas who are balancing little kids, big dreams, and intentional family life. And I want to remind you before we go any farther that I have a bunch of freebies that I'm starting to prepare for you guys and linking in either the show notes or on my link in my bio on Instagram at creating.intentional.mothers. This is just my way of helping you in any way I can. And I've noticed that as I'm talking, there are sometimes things that I want you to actually be able to practice afterwards or work through a little bit more. So I've just started creating some of these awesome little giveaways or guides or planners that can help you. So make sure that you're checking my link in my bio that will have all the links, as well as links in the show notes to little freebies that go along with each episode. Today, we're going to start off a 2-part series on how nature can actually be an emotional anchor for both you and your kids. We're going to explore why unstructured time outdoors is literally a game changer, and how nature's healing power can recharge your soul. So grab your water, head outside, and let's dive in. Let's talk about why nature heals. So first of all, picture this for a moment. You're standing in the mountains, in the trees. You see sunlight filtering through the leaves. You feel the breeze on your face and you hear it rustling the leaves around you. Your kids are running around giggling as they chase a butterfly or find a caterpillar. And your stress is just melting away, right? This is actually science. This isn't just a nice idea. Literally, this is science. We have proved through empirical research that nature has a profound ability to regulate our emotions. And that's something that both you and your kids need, especially in today's busy world. So let's talk about this historically. For centuries, cultures around the world have turned to nature for healing. My favorite one to talk about is the Japanese practice of Shinrin-yoku, or forest bathing, as you maybe have heard of it. This emerged in the 1980s, but has drawn upon the ancient Shinto reverence for nature spirit. And it's all about immersing yourself in a forest. Walking slowly, breathing deeply, noticing the smells and the sounds. And studies from Japan show that forest bathing actually lowers your cortisol, it improves your mood, and it even strengthens your immunity. I love this. I mean, other cultures have their own traditions as well, the Navajo Indigenous people reverence land as a living relative, a living being that teaches balance and respect. In the Ayurveda ancient healing system, nature's rhythms are central to emotional and physical health and healing. And in the medieval times in Europe, monks would give green prescriptions, which I love. I just love this idea. What if the prescriptions that we gave these days weren't for pills, but were for nature and green and trees, like garden walks to calm the mind? These practices have been in place for centuries and generations, and they remind us that we aren't actually doing things the new right way. We've actually gotten away from what has been proven to be healing for years. And as a mental health therapist, I have thought about this so much, and I have constantly emphasized the need for getting outside, getting active, being in nature, and seeing how that can heal the mind and the spirit. And now as a mom, I'm right back into it with my kids and myself. I know I literally can tell when we need outside time. It's the moment when kids are going crazy inside. Everyone is bouncing off the walls, right? That phrase brings to mind this image of kids literally just like so unregulated, crazy energy inside the house. And to me, that's my signal. We need outside time. And that's literally exactly the words I use to tell my kids. I say, okay, everyone, we need outside time. Go to the backyard or get in the car because we're going to a park. We have got to get outside. So for all you moms out there, nature is a reset button. It cuts through the overwhelm of parenting lots of energetic kids. For your kids, nature and outside time is a playground for emotional growth. Research shows that kids who spend time in nature have lower anxiety, better focus, and stronger resilience. It's like a natural therapy session. No appointment needed. And this is literally what I've been preaching since I've been a mental health counselor for the last decade. Okay, so let's geek out a little more on the science here just for a minute, because I love this stuff. I love the neurobiology. It's so fascinating to me. So when you're in nature, your brain shifts gears. The prefrontal cortex, which is like your to-do list brain, which is super important as a mom and as kids, trying to keep track of all the things we need to do to learn, making those logical decisions. But when we're in nature, that part of the brain, the prefrontal cortex, gets a little break, and our parasympathetic nervous system kicks in. The parasympathetic nervous system is the calming system. This is what allows us to regulate emotions. And time in nature turns on the parasympathetic nervous system, allowing your body to calm down. A study from 2019 found that even just 20 minutes in a park or in the forest lowers stress hormones significantly. So for moms juggling tantrums, that might be what you need. And for kids, nature is even more powerful. In 2021, there was a study published in Pediatrics Journal, which showed that kids with regular outdoor time have better emotional regulation and fewer behavioral issues. Why could that be? Well, because nature stimulates their senses without overloading them. Not like screens and crowded indoor spaces and all the busyness that kids are typically overstimulated by. Nature is a safe space to just process big feelings, and it is a soothing, calming sensory experience rather than an overstimulating sensory experience. So this helps when your toddler's melting down and suddenly they start to calm down while they're chasing leaves or playing in a brook outside. So unstructured, unsupervised outdoor time is especially key for kids. This is when we allow our kids to just be free to explore. Climbing trees, digging in dirt. Yes, getting dirty. It's okay. It's not hurting anyone. It's actually so good for them. Or just daydreaming, looking up the clouds. Can you imagine a kid who has the calmness and focus to just lay and watch the clouds move in slow motion versus the experience of sitting in front of a screen and watching the bright bouncing colors and sounds of the shows that they sometimes spend their time watching? It's a totally different experience, and it allows them to calm down, increase their focus, build confidence when they're climbing and exploring and pushing their physical limits, learn problem-solving skills, and even just grow in their creativity and imaginative play, which we know is so critical for things like empathy and compassion and social interactions in their future. So it's not about structured play dates or even like sports teams. It's letting the kids lead with minimal supervision. Of course, we need to ensure their safety and make sure that we're protecting them, but giving them space to roam fosters independence. And as a mom of 4 little ones, I know it's sometimes scary to loosen the reins, but like a backyard or even a fenced-in park can be a great way to start practicing this skill for moms and kids. Honestly, I think both moms and kids have to learn the skill. It might not come naturally. It's a skill they have to learn of being able to explore within safe boundaries. And for moms, it's about learning to allow our kids to explore within safe boundaries. So I want to bring nature into your mind right now here with just a 2-minute meditation inspired by this idea of forest bathing. So if you're in a safe spot and you can close your eyes or soften your gaze, I encourage you to do that. If you're driving or multitasking, just listen and breathe. Slowly take a breath in through your nose and just imagine the scent of pine trees or maybe of fresh grass. Exhale through your mouth, letting tension slip away. One more inhale, deeply feeling the cool, fresh air. Exhale, releasing any worries. Picture yourself in a beautiful, lush forest. Sunlight on the trees and the leaves. You feel this warmth of the sun on your face. Hear the rustle of the branches, or maybe the chirp of the birds around you. Feel your feet planted on the earth, grounding you. And with each breath, let nature's calm just flow into you. Inhale peace. Exhale any stress. Notice in this forest that you're imagining that there's so much living around you. The tree, the stream. Let it remind you of your own strength and your own resilience. Stay here for just a moment longer, breathing in harmony with nature and letting go of any stress. And when you're ready, go ahead and wiggle your fingers, take a deep breath, and return to your natural rhythm, feeling refreshed. So how do you feel after that quick little just mental exercise? I hope you feel a little more grounded, because I want you to realize that that's the power of connecting with nature, even just for a moment and even just in your imagination. And props to you if you can get outside and do the exact same meditation and exercise in nature with real trees around you, or even just in your backyard, barefoot in the grass. Because for you, as the mom, nature is such a good way to recharge you so that you can show up as the intentional, compassionate, present mom that you are. And for your kids, it's such a great space to grow emotionally and creatively. So here's your action plan until part 2, the next episode releases. I want you to spend 15 minutes outside with your kids in unstructured playtime, just letting them explore without a plan. And they're going to maybe come up to you and say, I'm bored. And you say, perfect. Go find something to explore. Awesome. Can you go find me a bug? Cool. Go see if you can find a heart-shaped leaf. That's one thing we love to do. And then try one nature-based meditation or just self-care practice that you might like. Maybe it's just a mindful walk outside or breathing in the shade of a beautiful tree. Do something just for you in nature. And then, of course, reflect. Maybe even write down why nature matters to you and your family and why you're committing to make it a bigger part of your family culture. And next week in part 2, we'll dive into the practical ways to make nature a daily habit why moms need immersive nature experiences like even healing retreats, and how to balance the safety with freedom for kids. So that's it for part 1. Remember, you are building a family culture rooted in love, growth, connection, and nature is your ally in that. So join me next time for part 2 and keep nurturing yourself and your little ones, and try doing it in nature this week. You're doing a great job. I'll see you next time on Intentional Motherhood.